Hello and welcome to Jack Talbert's Screencast-O-Matic of the ADO.NET presentation for the ADO.NET Phase 2 assignment. To go for the C, you have to create a class module to hold an ADO.NET code that includes an SQL connection, command objects. Using connected architecture, we want to insert, update, and delete records from the database. And this is my database. Courses uses the connected architecture. So if we look in the project in the middle tier, top of the code, we're using the SQL connection and the command objects. The delete course by course ID uses the connected architecture. The update BAS students does not. Get down to the courses here shortly. There we go. The courses do. So when we get the courses or remove the courses, we do so using the connected architecture. This is our designer of the courses window. Call the middle tier, populate the information. Make sure that our boxes aren't empty before we create a course. And then we create a course using the connected architecture. And then in the course list, we create a list view, and we populate it with all of the information that we need. And then if we wish to delete that, then we use that same connected architecture. So we launch the Windows Form application, we go to our courses, and we have 13 course IDs. So we're going to make a new course. Once we have all of the information populated, we can add the course. When we view all courses now, CSI 999 appears, and it is in fact in our database. Now if we no longer wish to have that in our database, we can select it and delete course. Go back to courses. No longer appears in the list view. And it is gone from our database. We will move on to the disconnected architecture with the students. It says to earn a B and earn an A. We have to have the use of a dataset object. It may be strongly typed or untyped, does not require the adapter, demonstrates navigation between rows and columns, and the use of disconnected architecture to capture data in a strongly typed database and update the data source SQL Server database. So I used a strongly typed dataset. Here. The DSBAS students. Course lists out of the way. In the middle tier, all the way back to the top, we created our methods like to update the BAS students using the data table. So we go to students. And when we view the code behind, we use the DATBAS and the data table. If we want to add a student, after we do error handling to make sure that everything is as we need it, then we use the disconnected architecture, here we go, to load the list of students. And then when the student changes, it populates the boxes from that list. And using the disconnected architecture, the data set, we can update the data. So let's go ahead and run that. This is our pretty fancy first screen, but the student screen, it has just the plain. So if I wish to look at Russell Dow, I just click on Russell, and it populates his information. Russell actually has 2 L's in his name, so we'll make that change and we will modify that student. It shows me that Russell's been modified. If I go back through my list and I want to verify the changes here, just make the changes. And then I want to delete Karen. If I go into my database, everybody's still there. Russell has 1 L. So if I just close the students, clear my form and close the students at this point, no changes are made to the database. So I take Russell, I make the change to his name. And then Joseph L. John is actually not a female, but we'll just remove that student. We'll look at Karen, and Karen has a student email now, so we'll, actually no, let's add a student. Let's just use this as an example. We'll add a Karen Jimmy. We'll get rid of the email. When we go to add that student, it's going to tell us the fields must contain information. Now, it's not that all of the fields need them, it's just some of them have to return. Some are allowed null and some aren't. But rather than have the end user try and think which ones are and aren't, we just let the interface do that error handling. You actually need to have a personal email, or you have to have a student email. You can't have no email because that's an important way to keep in contact. And we'll add that new student. So now we've modified, deleted, and added. Now we'll update with the changes. And the update says it was successful. So if we actually our list, L. John is missing. Karen has her email. Russell has 2 L's. We go to our database. Russell now has 2 L's. L. John has been removed. Karen Jimmy Karen is there. So it appears to have updated the database. So I used a strongly typed data set. I believe that's what we need. Thank you.